same time, Bonnie Piccaro reached beneath the table with her right hand and drew a stainless steel Kimber K6s 357 Magnum revolver from a simple pancake holster under her vest. The vest was stylish, lightweight cotton and suited a woman of her age. It also did a nice job of hiding her sidearm, which she was seldom without. Bonnie had done her research, quizzing her nephew, who was a detective with the Dallas PD, and watching dozens of videos of different models on the Hickok 45 YouTube channel. This was the first gun and holster she had ever owned. Oh, just catching up on some of my reading here. Hickok 45, hope you don't mind. You know what though, that makes me want to shoot my K6. It really does. Hot dog! Look at that. Let's just let him bleed out. Oh man, yes, K6s, stainless steel, Kimber, 6. Wonder what the 6 stands for. There he goes. Hey, guess what? We got another shot at him. I'll bet it stands for 6. It holds 6 rounds. Because I are from Kentucky and I can count to 6. 2, 4, 6. It does hold 6. And that's its claim to fame, more or less. Yep, we're into Chapter 2 territory with the Kimber K6. You could probably tell by the title, right? And this is my gun. A little more about that. Oh, wait a minute, John. We can't call it a gun. It's a revolver, right? Are revolvers guns? Oh, yeah, I think they are. So, yeah, it is a gun, too. Specifically a revolver. And before we start hashing over this firearm, let me remind anyway, we are happy to be here and to have this revolver. You know, I like revolvers. I like, what don't I like? I like semi-automatics. I like revolvers. I like muzzle loaders. I like everything. And this is one of the things I do like. I've got some of my favorite firearms. I've got another one I'm going to compare here in the Vaultek safe. It is, let's see what it is. There it is. Oh yeah, one of my very favorites. I carry that quite often. I carry all of these at various times, believe it or not. And that's my little 642 Airweight. You've seen it here before. Pretty cool little revolver. That I've really gotten the use out of that. I have probably carried that almost as much as anything that I own. You can still see it's got the dust bunnies in it because I was carrying it all week. And this is my Model 65 Smith & Wesson 357 Magnum. You've seen that. That's one of my very favorite revolvers. These are all kind of my carry revolvers. You know, everybody, well, not everybody. A lot of people like revolvers, enjoy shooting them, but they may not have many carry revolvers, what they consider defensive revolvers. Whereas I do. I have both. I have big ones, as you know, the big old Red Hawk and the Model 29s and everything I'm not likely to carry. Cold single actions. But these are defensive revolvers. Not to be defensive, unless you have to be. But these are some of my favorites. And yes, the K6s is one of my favorites. I have to say, it really is. I think I mentioned in the first video, which I will link to, that I might have to have one of these. Did I say something like that? Something stupid like that? Well, it really wasn't too stupid because I liked it, if you recall. And I was ready not to like it because, dare I say, it's a Kimber and they came out with a revolver. I just wasn't sure about that. But I wanted to take a look at it and shoot it and let y'all know what we thought about it. And it really turned out I like the thing. The way it's made, the precision of it, and all that. I was just impressed with it. I never did really get that off my mind. And I think in the video too, I might have mentioned that if they ever offered one in 3-inch barrel, I might have to have it. That's, I think, what I said. And I'm pretty sure I said that. Well, I don't know. I hadn't thought about it for a while, and it crossed my mind every now and then. And I was in a gun shop. And imagine that, me being in a gun shop, and well, Guns and Leather over in Greenbrier, Tennessee. And I was, looking at other stuff or getting supplied or something, and I noticed they had a bunch of these, on the shelf. They had the 3-inch models. They had, I don't even know what all the models are, and look them up. But so they've got them now with a different grip and different finish and everything, different barrel lengths. And I thought, bingo, now they've got a 3-inch. I knew they had a 3-inch, I just hadn't looked at it. And now I might have to eat my words if I don't buy one in a 3-inch barrel. So I looked at it, pulled it out, studied that thing, thought, you know what? I don't like this gun in a 3-inch barrel as much as I thought I would. And here I am, the ultimate revolver, small revolver guy who loves a 3-inch barrel. I have even 44 mags in 3-inch barrels. I just like that length. But for some reason in this particular gun, revolver, it's not a gun, right? No, see our FAQ videos, we answer that. I think John does, or I do, one or the other. I like it in a 2-inch barrel. It turns it into something different with a long barrel for me. It's just like if this one had a 3-inch barrel or a 4-inch barrel. It's just not a piece of hardware that appeals to me. It turns it into something different than the pocket gun it can be, for one thing. Well, it could still be a pocket gun. Let's see, where's my, here's the, is that the holster for it? Yeah. This is, pocket holster. I carried this thing for about 2 months, and I still do. Sometimes it gets a little heavy on me, but most of the time I can carry it just fine in a pocket holster. And let's see, get that one out because I was just carrying this one today. That's the same pocket holster basically. These are Alabama pocket holsters. Just appreciate their help. They occasionally I'll write them and they'll send me one. So again, the interest of transparency, okay? But they're not a sponsor or anything like that, but I'll get a holster if they will send us a free holster occasionally, I'm trying to say, okay? And I love them. I don't mind buying them and paying for them, and my gosh, they're not that expensive. But I'm not a Kydex person necessarily on holsters. Sometimes I am, but they're thin, and they've got this little thumb latch, and I like that, where you can just put your hand in your pocket and you can just pull it out. So it hangs on your pocket, so it's not going to come out with your gun. Revolver, there I go again, right? But I just like them. And there's probably 20 people that make them just like them. So what was I saying? So anyway, this becomes more of a pocket gun, or at least a potential pocket gun. See, I'll stick it in there. How's that? Okay. And it's a pocket gun. And I can pull it out, I can reach in there, and I've got a .357 Magnum revolver that holds 6 rounds at my disposal. So I like it. Now I don't always carry, as I've said before, .357 Magnum rounds in these little short barreled revolvers. I'll more likely carry a hot, 38 plus P special, and people are going to argue about that and what rounds best to carry in these and all that sort of thing. And I'll just go ahead carrying what I carry, but that's a debatable, subject, of course. But anyway, let me load it up and shoot it. Let me go ahead and shoot some hot stuff. And that's one of the things about it. It's built well, it seems to be. I need my glasses on. Boy, it's hot and humid today. But that's the way it is in Tennessee in the summer. It's not a big surprise. Let's shoot some Fusion that Federal. Actually, I think they didn't send. I bought that one somewhere, but they will send me all that we want. I think I didn't realize they made a Fusion in .357 Magnum. I was somewhere, I don't know where I was, in a Cabela's or somewhere, and I said, I saw that. I'm just going to buy that because I knew we'd be doing a video pretty soon on this or something else, and I need to order some from them, but because they'll send that to us too. All right, let's shoot this thing. Now this is going to be kind of hot. But that's one thing I like about it. It's got enough heft. It's 23 ounces. It's heavier than that air weight. But when you put in some hot rounds, like .357 Magnums, and you go after a pot, it's going to go through it. And I know it'll knock that bowling pin off too. Okay? Knocks it off with authority. Oh, let's see if we can finish off that 2-liter. Yeah, it'll take care of that too. Let's put one in that coffin. Boom, right in the middle. Let's put a couple on this paper. Woo. Now you're shooting .357 Magnum, all right? There's no question about that, but the grips absorb the recoil pretty well. Stings just a little bit. Those are pretty hot. But you can fire them. So if you wanted to carry something like that, you're not going to melt if you ever had to use it, for self-defense. You can carry whatever you want in the thing. You wouldn't enjoy shooting those at the range all day, of course. Whereas like 38 Special Plus P, you can shoot a lot of those because it's got enough weight to absorb that that recoil. So again, this is mine. I couldn't leave without it. When I picked this one up, I said, well, just let me look at it after I looked at all the other models. I said, well, let me look at that one again. That's the one we had done a video on earlier, except I think the only difference is this one has night sights on it. And I picked it up and was reminded that I just really like this configuration. I like the looks of it. I love the grips. You can get these now with beautiful wooden grips, but I tell you what, they don't feel as good as this one. They really don't. Not to me at all. This one feels my hand a little bit better, plus it's a rubber, and it's shock absorbing, more so than wood. And it gives me the license to shoot anything I want in it, It's not be quite as punishing for a small revolver, so I like that. So again, a long story short, I came home with it. Got a very reasonable price on it. I thought, because they're expensive, they're pricey. That's one of the negatives on this revolver. They're pricey. And it's interesting. After I bought it, I got to looking around on the web again about because it'd been a year and a half since we did that first video when it was a relatively new firearm, and just to see what people were saying about it, because I still liked it, and I really couldn't find much negative. I mean, people like this firearm, generally speaking. I mean, gun people who know guns tend to like this revolver. And you'll see over and over people being surprised, people who maybe were not Kimber fans at all, tested this or look at it and kind of like it and can't find things about it they don't like. I've run across a lot of that, and I'm the same way. Yeah, I really am. I was surprised and pleasantly surprised because I like little revolvers like this, and I didn't expect Kimber to come out with one, but it's pretty cool, and I'm glad I have it. As far as the negative, it's just expensive, and I don't know, I guess it's not been out quite long enough. Got some speed loaders. It's not been out long enough probably maybe for all the negatives to be showing themselves. I don't know, it could be after 500 rounds, cylinder latch tends to break on it or something. There may be some of that you're aware of that I'm not, but I am not aware of that. It seems like they did a good job. The construction of it, the tolerances are really close, and it just seems to be well made. I have to say, you know what? Well, what do I have in it? I guess those are Plus Ps. I really don't remember where to hold on the gong, but I'm going to go over there and pop him. Need to get a good trigger release because, when you're not sure where to hold, you really want to get a good shot off in terms of your trigger break, or else you still don't know where to hold. If you miss, if you didn't get a good shot, you know what I mean. Got him. Okay, I think I missed on the first one, and I brought it up a little bit, but because I felt like that first one was a good shot. Sure where I'm going now. Let me try that pig on the left up there so I can see the miss if I miss it. Oh yeah, I saw that. Right over his head behind the buffalo's rear end. So you know what I'm talking about there when you're trying to figure out where to hold. You have not figured out anything if you flinched or you just didn't get a good let off. So you want to feel like you pulled the trigger at the right time. I'm still not 100% sure. I'm gonna go for that. These turn clockwise, counterclockwise. Can't decide whether I like those or not. I haven't really used them much. I ordered those online. I didn't see who makes that. 5-star. I forget. But I guess that's the company. I found those online somewhere. I didn't have anything for this firearm, and got the Alabama holster, pocket holster. And I got a leather holster for outside the way. In fact, I ordered it at the same time I got this one. I don't even know who makes this one. It's a Kydex. It clips in on that one, But, oh gosh, this one is Azula, something like that, made in South Africa. I just saw it online, so I'd have something. All right. I'm going to hit that pig. The squirrels are just going crazy. Look at him. He's right there behind the pig. Get away from there. I don't want to get arrested for squirrel hunting out of season. We've already had a near miss with a deer, right? And they're everywhere, swarming over there. Okay, I'm slinging them around over there. Of course, it's a 2-inch barrel, you know. I'll make an excuse for myself. But the trigger on this thing just feels great. I know what let's do. Let's put some of those plus P's in and shoot here a little bit closer. This firearm obviously is for up close and dirty. You know, I like to stand around and try to plink at 80 yards or things like this, but it's going to be close. Like on this coffin down here. Let me just pretend that it has threatened me. Okay. So, I mean, it's really shootable, really shootable. You're not going to miss something at reasonable distances. So, you know, my first thought is always try to hit a pig over there at 75 yards, messing around with that kind of thing. But that's the beauty of a little revolver like this. Now, if you're not a big fan of revolvers, you're definitely not going to be a big fan of this, you know, because it's expensive and you might even think it's too heavy. If you even ever consider a small revolver for carry, you want something that's more like a, you know, J-frame airweight that's not going to weigh much. And, you know, of course, the big difference here is 5 shots versus 6. That's big. You know, I couldn't find my other calipers, but that's what I probably talked about this in the first video. But the thing they've achieved here, let me put the calipers on. Well, I don't know. Let's put them on this one. Squeeze it in there tight. Okay, this is the K6, and you see that there's hardly any difference between the thickness of the J-frame 5-shot, but yet you got a whole nother round. Now, normally to get 6 shots, it takes a little bit bigger gun. This is 6 shots, a K-frame Smith & Wesson, and that's what we typically think of. If you want something with 6 shots, you know, you got to go something with a cylinder that's going to be about that size. So let's get it adjusted on that cylinder. And then we put that on the K6, and look at the gap there. See, so it's, you know, and that doesn't seem like much, but I'll tell you, when it's in a holster or it's in your pocket or whatever, a little bit of thickness is a lot. Okay, same with a slide on a semi-automatic pistol. You get a slide that's that much thinner or thicker, that's a lot of steel and makes a difference. So this is about as small as you're going to get and have 6 shots. And that's the claim to fame with it, really. And that's what I like about it. It's the kind of firearm some people, it's just not your cup of tea. I guarantee you, there's people watching this just because you're so loyal and you like to watch anything we do, right? Even if it's stupid. But some of you are thinking, well, okay, that's interesting, but nothing I would ever want, because I'm not crazy about revolvers. And when I do shoot one, I want a hammer I can cock so I can fire it single action. I can never hit anything firing double action. And I don't want a 2-inch barrel. I need at least a 4-inch. There's just a lot of reasons that some of you right now didn't know I was a mind reader, did you? You're thinking, nope, not for me, not for me. How can you like that little thing, you know? And I understand that, but I'm weird. I love concealed hammer. You know, look what I did here. I mean, that's concealed. That's one of my favorite guns, total. And then, of course, what do? I buy a Model 65 and I shave the hammer off. So you know, I like a concealed hammer. You still have a hammer, it's just concealed. And if you need a precision shot, this baby, pull it up, bring that trigger back to right there, and it becomes single action. Click, click. You know, like on those 2-liters, that's not actually an easy shot. You know, let's shoot something different here. Shoot some good old-fashioned lead bullets. I know what let's do. Let's try some of these wad cutters. They cut a nice round hole. See what they do. They might do something different to the. You ever seen those? That's a wad cutter. Pretty interesting. You don't have to worry about them feeding. You know, they tend to feed in a revolver just fine. You can get them in the chambers, right? But as I was saying, you can do a precision shot with it. You just have to work with the trigger. It's got a wonderful double action trigger. All right, let's try that. Watch me not be able to hit either one of them, but I'm going to bring that hammer back. There we go. And Mr. Cowboy needs a hit right in the middle. I wonder if these would hit the gong, where they're going to go. Who knows? But you can get a precision shot. At least, you know, the same kind of shot generally that you can get with a hammer. Now, I can trick this one. I can cock it by hand. It's unloaded. But, you know, same thing. You're looking for just a little bit of trigger pull and boom. Essentially, you can bring that trigger back to where that hammer gets kind of staged and it's ready to fall with just a little more tension. And if you've shot it very much at all, you know when that's going to happen. So again, so for the folks who think this totally eliminates the possibility of a precision shot, not that you buy a 2-inch revolver for precision shots, right, at 80 yards, 50 yards, or even 20 yards. It's a defensive pistol. And again, this is a chapter 2. We're mainly just shooting it, but I guess I find myself talking about it again a lot. And I'll link to the first video because, you know, I purchased it and I feel like I need to justify that to you all, why I would do that. Bowling. Whoops. Yeah, I love to bowl. You know, so I'm kind of trying to give you the reasons from an experienced shooter's perspective why a person would like something like this or that specifically, okay? Don't care if Kimber sells another one, you know, that's not what we're about. But it is a firearm that I like well enough to buy. So, you know, I don't know what all I might have forgotten to mention in the first video. I probably bored you to death with all sorts of things about it. You know, the 23-ounce weight and price range and all that sort of thing. Well, again, now, whatever, a year later or more, you have more variations of it if it's something you think you would you'll be interested in. Also, again, it is well liked in general. Now you'll find haters, I'm sure. You can find people who hate $100 bills. So you'll find people who hate it. There's no doubt about that. You'll probably find some people who have problems with it. You know, that's going to happen too. Generally speaking, people like this, and as I said, they're kind of surprised. You know, sorry, Kimber, but people are generally surprised at the quality and not that they don't make quality guns, but you know, Kimber's a funny company that people either seems like they love them or they hate them. Yeah, you all can guess the reasons why. You know more about than I do, maybe. But aside from all of that, it just doesn't matter. This seems like a really quality little handgun. I'm going to shoot a couple more times. What have I not shot? I've not shot any of these plain old lead round nose classic 38 specials. And as I always preach to y'all, when I get out a revolver, you know, the versatility is pretty cool in a revolver. There's so many different types of ammo it'll shoot. We've been shooting hollow points. I hope here off and on. Hope you noticed it feeds hollow points just fine. It feeds round nose lead bullets just fine. It even fed those. Wow, is your Glock going to feed those? No, probably not. All right, so just something to think about. All right, what are we going to shoot? How about just some stuff right here? Let's put it in the holster. Okay, got my underwear showing there. All right, wow. Let me get my. I didn't get dressed very well. Yeah, I put this holster on, and it's hot. I've been perspiring, so let's get myself dressed. There we go. That's better. All right. That's something to be concerned about. You know, you make sure your shirts are tucked properly and all that kind of thing with holsters, especially if you got an inside the waistband holster. You got a shirt tail messing with it, or in the holster and a trigger, and you got to be, you know, watch all that. All right, so it is just a small revolver, and here's what it's for. That's it. And then if you have a speed loader in your pocket, you can pull it out and reload it. One of the things that I carry, here we go, the Bianchi speed strips. You've probably seen those. You can pop that in there and put 2 in at a time like that. And you need to practice with them, but they work well. I mean, they work pretty well. They're not as good as some speed loaders, but the beauty of them is that they fit in your pocket. You don't even know you've got that in your pocket. It's just like a little change or something, you know. So if you're carrying a small revolver, hopefully you know about those. You may have some other good solutions, but I mean, those are great. Those are great. I've been using those for a lot of years. In fact, I had some old ones that were so old they just got brittle and broke apart when I tried to use them one time. Not in a defensive encounter or anything. It was on the range. A defensive encounter against 2 liters. So this is the Kimber K6s. You know, what can I say? I've got a pocket holster for it. One thing I was going to show you is the other pocket holster. Yeah. Again, you notice it's just a smidgen wider than the J-frame. It's essentially the same size as the J-frame. I'll show you. This is the K6 holster. I know it's because it's got a scratch on it. This J-frame, see, it clicks in there. The same holster. There's just a little more play. Okay. And now this is the J-frame holster right here. Okay. Now if I try to put the K6 in it, I mean it's a little tighter. I could carry it in that if I had to. It fits in there. It opens it up just a little bit more. So that gives you an idea of the difference in the size right there. Okay, there's just very little difference between these 2 holsters because there's very little difference between these 2 firearms. Okay, in terms of width. Now this one's heavier. All right. So what else did you want to know? Come on, tell me. Like I say, I've got the Model 65 out to kind of demonstrate what it often takes to have 6 rounds of 357 Magnum. And this would be in a way more shootable. If you told me we're going to be shooting for money here and who can hit the bigger number of animals over there out of 20 shots or something, of these firearms on the table, this is going to be my choice, no doubt about it. But for a firearm, if I'm dedicated to a revolver, committed to a revolver, that I'm going to have on me at all times, easily accessible, and something that's going to work up close and dirty, you know, I'll take this one, you know. So it just kind of depends on your purpose and all that sort of thing, what you need it for. So, I don't know. Chapter 2, the Kimber K6s. Just thought I'd update you that, you know, it's a different firearm that was in the first video, because this one's mine. The other one went back to Bud's for an e-gunner auction. One of you owns it. One of you has it right now. Tell us how it's done for you. Yeah, is it malfunction? Yeah, or whatever. So in the update, I just want to let you know that I still like this revolver, and I'm kind of a revolver person. And again, I'm a little bit surprised that I like it so much, but I just can't. I couldn't get it totally off my mind. You know, and that sort of happens. You know, with a lot of you, I'm sure you encountered a firearm that you just liked it, and you're maybe surprised you liked it, and it's one of those you have on your list. Maybe it's just a mental list. That's where this one was, on my mental list. And I just decided I needed this, really did. Short barrel, stainless steel revolver, you know I like them, and I like the versatility of it. And I like the fact it could be a pocket carry gun. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. It's a little heavy maybe for you, even for me sometimes, but by and large, it'll work. And boy, on a belt, it's definitely not a problem at all. You know, it's you don't really know you've got that. So, Kimber K6s Chapter 2, little update, and don't believe a word I said. Try one out for yourself. So again, it's expensive. That's a negative. If you're shooting barn burner ammo, it's going to kick you a little bit, maybe more than you can stand. I mean, more than you really want to stand, okay? Even though it's got a little heft. You're shooting really hot 357 Magnums, and that's all you want to shoot. You probably are not going to like it, because it does set you back a little bit, okay? But with lighter Magnums, or 38 Special Plus P, it's very comfortable to shoot, and it's very easy to hit with, I think, generally speaking, of all the shooting I've done with it. Now, I didn't set the world on fire today over there on the gong and some things, but I mean, generally it shoots just fine, okay? I think it's your humidity. it causes my bullets to go kind of off course or something. Yeah, that makes sense. Glad you all stopped by. We appreciate your support, supporting the people that support us. You guys, you folks over there, Gone Club members, we appreciate you all over on the Patreon channel. Just everything you all do, we appreciate you coming to watch mainly, because I don't know why you do it, but we're glad you're here. Life is good.
Oh, hey, I didn't realize the video was still going. Well, since you guys are still here, I guess I'll tell you about our friends over at SDI, the Sonoran Desert Institute. You can check them out at sdi.edu. Definitely check them out if you're interested in getting a certification in gunsmithing or an associate's degree in firearms technology. They are a fully accredited online distance learning program, so check them out at sdi.edu. And also, don't forget to check out our friends over at vaultechsafe.com. You've seen their safes on our shooting table. They make some really cool pistol safes and lots of other things, so go check them out at their website. And then while you're on your computer, if you've got the internet, which I assume you do if you're looking at these other websites, maybe go and check out some of our other stuff like hickok45.com. And also you can go to, well, I guess this would be on your phone. You can go to any of this on your phone. You can go to Instagram, Be Real Hickok 45 at Instagram, on Instagram, and then there's also Hickok 45 on Twitter. There's Hickok 45 on Facebook. There's also the Hickok 45 and Son Facebook and YouTube channel, and then John_Hickok 45 on Instagram. And there's full30.com. We're everywhere. We are all over the place on the internet. You've got no excuse for not looking at some of our stuff on the internet. And just kidding. There's actually lots of really good excuses for that. And we also have a Patreon now. Some of you guys are interested in supporting us on Patreon. So we finally set that up. So you can find us over there, just Hickok 45 over on Patreon. And man, I guess that's all I had to say. And I really gotta take off here. And I brought this car because I need to get somewhere really fast. So let me go ahead and do that, and I'll let you guys get back to whatever you were doing. And I'll see you later. Appreciate it. All right, get the right keys there. Hopefully it starts. It might not. Oh.